Welcome everybody to the latest NFL Draft Geek video series. I'm Brian Johannes, and today I'm going to talk to you why I feel the Indianapolis Colts have a great shot for the number one overall pick in the 2019 NFL Draft. There's a lot of factors that go into this. We saw Andrew Luck is a guy that's, franchise quarterback when healthy, but he missed all of last year. There's a lot of concerns if he's going to play this year. He's got that shoulder injury. He's only throwing what they're calling a high school football, so it's a little bit smaller of a football, not the heavier, bigger one that we have the NFL teams use, or the NFL use. But there's a lot of questions about him. And when I look at the Colts and their success, first off, we got to look at their division. The AFC South for the longest time was a pretty weak division, really. I mean, you had the Colts were winning it, made a few runs at the playoffs, but they weren't great. They weren't great teams. They weren't going to be a Super Bowl contender. They kind of fell off a little bit with Ryan Grigson kind of driving them into the ground. And we saw the Texans kind of win the division despite themselves not being that great of a team. I mean, having guys like Tom Savage and Fitzpatrick and those guys be their quarterbacks. This division's a lot better. The Texans continue to get stronger. They've got Deshaun Watson, who when he was healthy looked like the next great quarterback in the NFL. We've got the Jaguars look like probably one of the best teams in the AFC overall. Even the Tennessee Titans went to the playoffs last year, continued to get improve and get better across them. So the Colts are clearly the worst team in their division. So that's going to put them at a slight disadvantage playing all those teams twice each, 6 times altogether. They're not going to finish well. So they're going to be a top 5 team probably regardless. Last year they had one of the worst rosters in the entire NFL. Ended up with that 3rd overall pick based on the record. They know that wasn't without Andrew Luck, and I'm sure him returning is going to give them a lot more help. But let's just kind of take a look at the roster and why I feel that. As I mentioned, probably ad nauseum now. Andrew Luck, is he going to be healthy? A lot of the stuff that we're hearing right now about his shoulder and throwing is some of the same stuff that we heard last year. So, that's a big concern. Jacoby Brissett didn't play half bad. He looks like a guy that has an NFL future ahead of him, guy that maybe is one of the top backups in the league, could be a quality starter for another team. But there's a big drop-off between Andrew Luck and Jacoby Brissett. Who are they going to throw the ball to? That's another concern. You got T.Y. Hilton, who I think is a good NFL receiver, but I don't know if he's a guy that is going to be a true number 1 receiver in this league. I look at him as being a good, a top complement, that number 2 guy. He's not the number 1 that's going to get open when you need him on first downs and in the red zone. That's what I call a number 1 receiver. I think he's that good complement to that guy. He's a deep threat. He can get open underneath, so on and so forth. Other than him, they got Ryan Grant, a guy that was going to sign with the Ravens, but they ended up nixing him because of a failed physical, and he ended up then they signed Michael Crabtree. So Grant's another guy. I think he's just a complimentary piece. Those are your 2 starting running back or wide receivers. Not the best. Even in the draft, they got Deion Kane, a guy that's solid. Another thing, I think his upside is a 3rd receiver. Fountain from Northern Iowa has got a guy that's got potential, but he is extremely raw. So you're looking at him probably being a future impact player. They finally improved that offensive line. You got Anthony Costanzo holding down the left tackle. You've got Quentin Nelson, who's an absolute stud. So they've got those Ryan Kelly at center, Jack Mewhort at right guard. They've got talent. But what are they going to do with it, really? I mean, your receivers aren't the greatest. I guess that's going to give them time to get open. But what about their running backs? I like Marlon Mack. I liked him coming out of South Florida. Nyheim Hines from NC State's a quality, receiving, speed type guy. But either of those guys going to be foundation backs, even a committee with them and Josh Ferguson or Wilkins, who they got from Ole Miss. None of those guys really kind of just jump out at you, and their line's going to improve and they're going to get yardage, but who in this offense really scares you? Nobody for me. Then you got to go to the defense. Once again, one of the worst rosters on defense. You take out Malik Hooker, who really is there? On the defensive line, you got Marcus Hunt. You got Kimiko Toure is a guy that I like coming out. If he reaches his potential, maybe he's a good pass rusher. But what is he? He hasn't done anything since his freshman year at Rutgers. Tyquan Lewis they took in the second round. I thought that was a massive reach. He's more of an interior pass rusher. They got Jabal Sheard, who I think is a quality player, but he's not going to be coming off the edge. He's more of an interior guy. At linebacker, they want to move to this Tampa 2 again, and their linebackers are solid. I won't even say they're solid. Why did I even say that? Their top guy is probably Darius Leonard, and he's a 1AA FBS type player, and he's a guy that's just he's raw, and even if he does come and he's good, he's still got a long ways to go as that linebacker. Like I said, Malik Hooker, he's a guy that's a blue chip type prospect. He's got to stay healthy. He missed most of last year. But a cornerback, who do they got at cornerback? Quincy Wilson. He's solid. He could turn into a good press corner. But opposite that, they really don't have much. So I think this defense is going to get burned a lot. It's built to play with the lead, but I'm not sure they got much of a lead that they're going to build with this offense. So it could be pretty bad, and this is why I think they have one of, if not the best shots to getting the first overall pick in that 2019 NFL draft. Maybe they'll get a Joey Bosa or Nick Bosa or an Ed Oliver, and they get their pass rusher that they desperately need. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe. Click that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications to know when we get these. Make sure you're checking out my summer draft reviews. I hope you guys like this. Follow me on Twitter at draft_Brian, at NFL Draft Geek, and make sure you're hitting up NFLDraftGeek.com for all your draft needs. Until next time.